So welcome all, and today we are starting a new chapter, that is reject passivity. Reject passivity. As an able-bodied, cheerful, and social college student who was deeply involved at an already large and continuously growing church, I was a prime candidate to help somebody move some furniture. To make matters worse, Matt Beware, my closest friend at Georgia Tech and colleader of our high school ministry at church, owned a truck. Owning a truck is a kiss of death to your Saturday afternoon dreams of kicking your feet up and watching football. If Matt and I were more economically astute and entrepreneurial, we could have likely turned a profit from the dozens of friends and families who requested our services each week. Let's just say I never got rich moving furniture. Let's just say I never got rich moving furniture. One of my clearest memories of our work was not something we moved, but something I learned from someone we moved. I remembered a family that was upgrading homes and asked us to help them with the move. After a moving company had done the after a moving company had done the lion's share, we showed up to move one final piece, the dad's beloved pool table. It was getting moved to their new basement. It was getting moved to their basement. Now, let me stop here and ask you, have you lifted a pool table recently? Of course not. Lifting a pool table is like trying to lift a sleeping rhinoceros. My favorite part of that job was the 75-year-old potty mouth grandfather who took on the role of foreman of the operation. I can't recall his name and can barely remember his face, but the sound of his cigarette scared, raspy southern voice is unforgettable. I felt like I was enacting a Saturday night live skit as Grandpa stood around watching us eventually move the table, offering a running commentary on every misstep and wild scrap. He repeated one line over and over and over again, and it has stuck with me through the years. Every time I move something heavy, it pops into my head again. So, what he did, he repeated one line over and over and over again, and it has stuck with me through years. So, let's see what is that line and how it helped. Anytime it looked like the pool table would win and crush us to death beneath its weight, the old man would yell in his raspy voice, "Don't let it beat Cha! Don't let it beat Cha!" That day I sprink. That day I smirked every time he said it, but it keeps ringing in my mind, popping in there at the oddest moments. It's becoming something of a rallying cry for me to cultivate intentionally and assertiveness. Intentionality and assertiveness.
Assertiveness.
Assertive, okay. Why? Let's
Because
figure
it
it
says
out.
don't let it beat you.
Because
It says don't let it beat you. That means don't let it beat you.
Okay, beat you. Beat
Yeah,
cha. See,
that is the American, like, it's southern. Don't let it beat ya. Beat ya. Beat you. That's how it is. Beat you, it
uh,
becomes beat ya. Yeah.
okay, he is telling to himself
No, he's
that.
telling them, don't let the weight of the table beat you. Keep lifting it and moving it without damaging it or giving
Hmm.
up.
Hmm. So that is a assertiveness, act of
Mm.
assertiveness. In India also we have some mantra like Jai Viru Hanuman, like that some people say, or Jai Ma Kali, and then they get some energy.
Yeah. Like what? Aisa, and hum laga ke aisa, like that. It gives you that feeling
They,
of assertiveness.
they,
Yeah.
yeah, right. Cultivate intentionality and assertiveness. Even though the pool table was an intimate and mindless object, if I was on top of my game, it would have beaten me down. Don't let it beat cha.
Don't let it beat you.
Yeah. So you can take over from here the loss of control.
The loss of control. One of the benefits of being in charge, of having authority over others, is the semblance of control that authority brings. We all know that the feeling of being in control can be powerful. When I start making decisions, I experience that sense of control and I'm more naturally assertive and intentional. When I'm the one calling the shots, I enter the zone and focus. I'm personally connected to these decisions. And when I'm the one who is ultimately responsible and accountable for the outcome, I just feel more ultimately responsible and accountable. I just feel more buy in. That's why the feeling of ownership we talked about last chapter is so powerful. Owners feel a sense of control over the plan, the strategy, and the way forward for the organization. And while we all want to be in control, we shouldn't assume that this control makes it any easier, because it's not. But the feeling of control does naturally bring us more intentionality and assertiveness in our leadership. One of the most dangerous temptations we face when we are working for someone else is passivity. If authority brings us a feeling of control, the lack of authority makes us feel acutely our lack of control. When I feel out of the loop without any plan, I tend to feel disconnected from the outcome. As much as being in control forces me to think deliberately about my decisions, feeling like I lack control causes me to do the opposite. When I feel like I'm being handed decisions, I throw my hands up, but not in the what tire cruise kind. When I make decisions to move forward, decisions overturned by those judged on sit on my hands. Not that me found that my best preaching happens when I've had the time to let an idea simmer, just like great pork butt, slow and slow, further and prepare, and more like I am to create changing controls our aging calendar. He doesn't know he should. He's the one who's born 31 days a year. The majority of us are in the same place, and this is the beginning of his changes. A 4 part series turns into a 5 part series, and that turns my 3 part series into a 2 part series as the schedule changes and I adapt around him. But if I'm not married to an idea, it's not usually a problem to change, but it can be frustrating and problematic. When I've spent hours and hours planning and preparing for a 3 part series, only to find a week beforehand that it's changed and I need to drop an entire message. As frustrating as that can be, the greatest temptation is for me to become passive about my planning for the next time. It's easier to just wait on the firm plan than to create firm ideas around a wobbly plan. Maybe you don't have the authority you want, or you're frustrated because your well planned idea keeps getting shot down. Maybe you are discouraged because you feel like you've been labeled and it's keeping you from the opportunities you want. Well, don't let it beat you. It wants to. If you don't pay attention to it, it will. But if you even realize it, the passivity of subordination will settle on you like the plague. That's why resisting passivity is the best response.
Okay, great. So we are dot 2 p.m. and let's end the call here and let's meet again tomorrow. I'll be
Yes.
sharing the summary very soon in the group.
Okay,
Thank you.
Prakashji.
Thank
Yeah.
you,
Thank you,
Omsan.
Prakashji. And also, I must say that I think I slept much better and earlier last night
Uh,
and really woke up a lot